All right, perfect. So thank you for sharing. And I can see we have people from literally all over the world, which is really great to see. Um, so today's event, it's a part of the Solution Storytelling Project Asia, which is a collaborative storytelling initiative by the Video Consortium, supported by the Skoll Foundation, which brings together regional filmmakers and social innovators across Asia to make some incredible, impactful documentaries on social issues. Um, we're really glad to have today with us Phil Collis from the Skoll Foundation, who's going to tell us a little bit more about this collaboration. So over to you, Phil.
Thanks, Kaval. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us here for this screening. I hope captions are working for those that don't speak English. Yes, first of all, just a thank you to our partners at Video Consortium for leading this whole project. To the filmmakers, Priyanka, Amar, thank you so much for bringing this story to life with care. And to ARMMAN, hey, champions, whose work you're about to see. Thank you for everything that you do every day, helping mothers and children and everyone in the community. At the Skoll Foundation, for over 25 years, we've built up a global community of social innovators and organizations like ARMMAN that are tackling some of the world's toughest challenges with scalable solutions. But we've also learned that, impact doesn't travel unless the stories do. And storytelling's been really important to our founder, Jeff Skoll. It's a way to make the problems human, to show the work that's happening. And that's why the Solution Storytelling Project matters so much to us. In many ways, this is about kind of connection. It's about pairing talented filmmakers with the organizations in our community so that they can tell the stories and to help them reach a wider audience that hopes, makes these solution scales. So, as you watch For Every Breath, we invite you to see that not just as a film, but part of a broader movement and one that shifts the focus from what's broken to what's working. So with that, thank you again, everyone, for your work in making this come to life. Thank you, Kaval. And back to you.
Thanks so much, Phil. And we're really excited to share this film, which we will shortly. I'm just going to introduce after the screening, we're going to be joined by a panel with the filmmakers and members from ARMMAN and different roles in that you will see essayed in the film. And so I just want to introduce who we have here with us today or who will be joining us on the panel. We have the film director, Priyanka Mukherjee, and cinematographer and editor, Amar Gurung. Kriti Dalal will be moderating from ARMMAN's side, the director, resource mobilization and communication. We also have from ARMMAN Kumar Madhusudan, Deepika, district program manager. And then we are also joined by Pooja Sharma, who's an ASHA, she'll be seeing about in the film, and Priyanka Chaudhary, who holds the role of A&M or auxiliary nurse midwife. So stay tuned for that after the film. I will now turn to Kriti to introduce ARMMAN and tell us if your work we see the film.
Thank you so much, Veda, and so wonderful to be here today. I'm truly honored to be part of this very important conversation, and it's so well timed, right? As we carry the spirit of Mother's Day with us through this week as well. We've gathered not just to celebrate the strength and resilience of mothers, which we will see in the film, but also to reflect a little bit on a reality that millions of women in India still face. That motherhood for many begins in conditions that are far from safe. So every hour, 2 women in India still die due to pregnancy and childbirth related complications. And for every woman who dies, there are 20 more who suffer from lifelong conditions that significantly impact their quality of life. And behind every one of those statistics is a name, is a story, is a family. And we're really excited because For Every Breath brings one of these many, many stories to life. This is the story of Surbhi. She's a pregnant woman in Uttar Pradesh, which is India's most populous state, as you know. And the story of Geeta, who is her ASHA Didi or frontline health worker. And it serves as a very powerful reminder of a simple truth The health of a mother and her child is the bedrock upon which everything else is built. Their story is a window into why this mission is so urgent and why we cannot and we will not stop until every breath is a safe one. And ARMMAN was established with this very belief in 2008 as a non-profit organization dedicated to improving health outcomes for pregnant women, new mothers, and the children through stronger public health systems in India. So we work directly with women to improve their health-seeking behaviors while also strengthening the public health system and building the capacity of health workers across all levels so that they can offer appropriate care and guidance and especially identify, manage, refer high-risk pregnancies in time. And we'll see that in the film. What really sets our approach apart is our Tech Plus Touch model. This combines the deep penetration of the mobile phone in India with very strong partnerships with governments, NGOs, so that we can reach women and children where they are. And this has enabled us to reach 79 million women and the children with critical preventive care information and train over 575,000 health workers. We're currently implementing the largest mobile-based maternal messaging program and the largest training program for frontline health workers in the world in partnership with the Health Ministry, Kilkari and Mobile Academy, respectively. Through our interventions, we are now reaching nearly half of all pregnancies across 28 states in India. These are staggering numbers, but let's talk a little bit about the realities on the ground. In the communities that we work in, women's health is too often the last priority. Deep-rooted norms limit women's access to care and their ability to make decisions, and the sense of entitlement to even seek help. Our interventions are equity-based, gender transformative. They are designed to reach the most vulnerable women and children and to shift the conditions that actually put the onus of care solely on women in the first place. And we're going to see this beautifully in the film with Geeta, who's deftly navigating family dynamics. She's encouraging the father's participation. She's quietly building trust and shifting attitudes. And then there's the infrastructural reality. India's intricate public health system has enormous reach, but reach alone is not enough. So ARMMAN works to strengthen the system from inside, from within, by training and supporting health workers, improving clinical protocols, enabling states, districts, municipal bodies to manage and track high-risk pregnancies in time. Geeta's ability, as you will see, to recognize Surbhi as a high-risk case and ensure she receives timely care is a direct result of this. All our interventions are data-driven, strengthened by artificial intelligence. But for us, AI is an enabler. It is not a replacement for human care. We use it to identify risks early, provide targeted support to high-risk women, and empower health workers with real-time decision support to ensure that they are equipped to make the right call at the right moment. Before I hand you all over, I just want to say what you're about to watch is not just a documentary. It is a window into the worlds of two very resilient women and the profound bond that they share. It's really a testament to the quiet, stubborn persistence that unfolds every single day in the communities across India to ensure that no mother or child walks their path alone. So with that, I'll hand it over to you, Koval and Veda.
Thanks so much, Kriti. Yeah, sorry. Thanks so much. We're actually just going to turn to screening for every breath.
अब लड़की हुई तो लड़की का क्या नाम रखोगे?
लड़की का नाम रखेंगे ऐसे सोच रहा लड़के का नाम सोच रखा बस
लड़के का क्या सोच रखा?
आर्यन।
अच्छी है। अच्छा, लड़की का ना सोच रखा, लड़के का सोच रखा। ऐसे भी ना हो सकता है क्योंकि हाँ लड़के ही होगा। दूसरा भगवान की मर्जी है, का देगा। हमारी बहन पे 4 लड़कियां, कहीं को फेंकी थोड़ी है उन्होंने, 4 हैं। लड़के लड़के के चक्कर में 4 होली।
अच्छा आ जाओ, आ जाओ, ऐसा शर्माओ मत। आजकल के जमाने में कौन शर्मा रहा, मॉडर्न जमाना है। आओ जाते ना। ये छोटे छोटे बच्चे की देखो, ये रोने लगे हैं ना, तो इनकी वजह से ज़्यादा काटे हैं ये, कि हमारे बच्चे को मार रहे हैं। माँ है, माँ तो बच्चों को करेंगी, बचाएंगी। माँ का तो प्यार अलग ही है। बस अब हमारे घर में तो इस टाइम तो मैं अकेली हूँ, वह लड़का मेरी सासू। 2020 में हस्बैंड चले गए, उन्हें टीवी बन गई। पहले तो ढोर भी रहते थे, अब तो ना, जब मेरे पे ना होता, अब ड्यूटी कर लूँ या कर लूँ, तो इस वजह से मैंने फिर ढोर भी बेच दी। हेलो हेलो, तो हमारा काम है, कोई गर्भवती ऐसी छिपी हुई ना हो गांव में जो बता ना पा रही हो, तो हमें उन्हें निकालना पड़ता। कभी कोई परेशानी हो उसे, कुछ तो ऐसी होती है ये एकदम ना बताते, कभी नजर लग जाए कि इसके एकदम बालक होने लगा, ये छिपाती है बड़ी बूढ़ी। हम उन्हें समझाते हैं इस बात का कोई छिपाव नहीं है। इन्हें जानकारी पहले ही जमाने की है, लेकिन हम अपने सामने हम करन नहीं देते। ये सोच ज्यादा है उनकी अभी, कि चाय में घी गिर के पिलाया तो यही हो जाएगा, घी से एकदम बालक रपटी आएगा। 1 महीने जब 1.5 महीने का हो जाएगा इसका टीका लगेगा, ठीक है। और ये लड़के वाली सोच नहीं जा रही, लड़का जरूर चाहिए अपने पेट का। क्या इन लल्लियों का पराये घर का कूड़ा चला जाएगा। खेचाता नहीं करते हैं उनके सामने, टाइट भी करते हैं इस बात पर। गर्भवती की देखभाल और गर्भवती के खाने पीने का उसे ये देखना है कि वजन बढ़ रहा नहीं बढ़ रहा है। जब वजन बढ़ेगा तो बच्चा बढ़ेगा। कहाँ पे है सुरभि, क्या हो रहा? बैठो और कम कर ले ब्लड, ज्यादा है अभी तो। 1 ड्रम भरवा दे किसी का, हाँ चढ़वा दे। बहुत ज्यादा कर लिया था ना, बजाय बढ़ाने का और घटा लिया। कितना हो गया इसमें? कुछ खवा पिवाना नहीं सब बिल्कुल भी। मैं तो इतना खाया है। और तू भी रोटी खा, थोड़ी खाओ, एक साथ में खाई जाती ज्यादा, थोड़ी थोड़ी करके खाओ, 3-4 बार।
3 रोटी तो खा लूंगी,
तो खा, 3 खा, 4 खा। HRP में तो है ही है, खून की कमी तो अधिकतर रहती है। किसी नसीब वाले का समझती हूँ मैं जो 10 या 11 होता। HRP में ये होता है कि बहुत से कहते हैं कि चक्कर आ रहा है, आंखों का अंधेरी आ रही है, सूजन भी आता है उन्हें, मानो उसका गर्भपात हो गया हो, या जो है उसका बच्चा मरा हुआ हो, या जो जाने में देर कर दी।
ये आपकी 2 जांचें हो रही हैं, HIV की और सिफिलिस की। HIV आपने सुना होगा, बहुत खतरनाक बीमारी होती है। BP आपका सही आ रहा है, वजन और करवाओ आप। वजन आया है इनका 41 ही आया ना? ब्लड बहुत कम आ रहा है आपका, 6.5। देखो जैसे आपको 8वां महीना चल रहा है, उसके हिसाब से आपका वजन भी कम है। ये देखो आँख, आपकी आंखें बिल्कुल सफ़ेद हो रही हैं। ये आंखों से पता चल रहा है। जीभ निकालो बाहर, ये देखो जीभ भी बिल्कुल सफ़ेद हो रही है। ये देखो, अगर आपके पहले बच्चे पे इतना कम ब्लड था, डिलीवरी तो हो जाती है, लेकिन कई बार ब्लीडिंग होने के चांस रहते हैं। आपको भी कुछ भी दिक्कत हो सकती है। इतने कम पे हो जाती है, लेकिन रहता तो बहुत वो रिक्सी है ना। सुनाई दे रही है आपको आवाज़? ये सांस ले रहा है आपका बच्चा, जल्दी जल्दी ऐसे
मेहनत तो बहुत है, हमारी मेहनत तो अनगिनत है। ये डिलीवरी होती हैं तो एक डिलीवरी पे 600 रुपये हमारे आते हैं खाते में। हम तो उसमें खुश हैं, क्या करें। अब जब नहीं है तो नहीं है। अभी सोए रहे, 1 बजे फ़ोन आएगा, बच्चा हो रहा, बुलाओ जल्दी एम्बुलेंस। नींद उड़ गई, उठे चले गए। मेहनत तो बहुत है।
इन्होंने हमने बताया है डिलीवरी में भी वो हो सकती है, नो दिक्कत रहे डिलीवरी में। नौकरी खून काम है, ते सही कर लो। अभी 1 महीना आनो। मेरी उस टाइम पर बहुत हालत खराब है, लल्ली की पोत को कमजोरी बतेरी, अब के बतेरी वो दिखाई दे रही है, कमजोरी सी दिखाई दे रही। अब बीच में खवाई टूट गई तो फिर कम हो गया। कभी हमारे इनके चोट लग गई तो दिक्कत में आ गए हम भी। कम से कम दूसरी साल चल रही है, 1 साल बीत गया बगैर काम करे। और मुश्किल ना होती है तो भारी लगता है, जो कमा खर्चा नहीं चलता। ये गाय हमारी हैगी ना, दूध दे रही है कुछ, और मैंने करी थी कुछ मजदूरी, जैसे कमा जब कुछ ना निभा, जैसे धान लगाई चली पर के, तो मैंने भी मजदूरी करी थी उस टाइम पे। जैसे हमारी है, अब हमारी जल्दी शादी कर दी। लड़की है 18 में आ जाओ, 19 में लग जावे तो देखने भागने चालू कर दे, मैं पढ़ाई बंद कर दे मैं उनकी। और क्या, माँ बापों के क्या सपने रहे मैं, कोई सपने ना होते हैं। गरीबों के कोई सपने नहीं होते, मुझे पता है गरीबों के कोई सपने नहीं होते। गरीबों को युवा बस हमें रोटी फोटी सब ऐसी टाइम पे मिल जाए, वही बहुत है। इस टाइम तो बस ऐसी भुगता दे सरकारी अस्पताल में, छुट्टी हुई।
अपना से हो जाती है बार बार मिलने को, ऐसा कि बार बार मिलो, फिर जाकर देखा सुरभि कैसी है, ऐसा लगने लगता है। बिल्कुल ढीला बिल्कुल ढीला
मधुसुमन रुक्मणी सहित देवम विष्णुते नमः शुक्राय नमः श्री प्रिया पुष्प क्षेत्रमालय हिमालय त्रिभुव कुटुंब आवयम
नया नाम रखेंगे अब नए नए नाम चल रहे हैं कोई यूं थोड़ी है कि हाँ पुराने नाम रखो नए चल रहे हैं बतेरे नए नाम चल रहे हैं अब तो अब 2 ही रन देंगे अब ना कर रही
सुरभि के केस के लिए देख कर जो हालत पैदा थी इतनी उम्मीद नहीं थी जो सुधार हो गया बहुत अच्छा हो गया सुरभि ओ सुरभि दीपांशु है तू या दिव्यांशु है क्या चीज है तो जैसे गोदी में नींद आएगी गोदी में नींद अच्छे तो काम होएगा
गोदी में सोया
हाँ तब तो काम होएगा इसे अपना ही दूध पिलाना है ठीक है और अब 3 साल तक कोई बच्चा नहीं करना और करना है बच्चा नहीं करना बहुत अच्छी बात है बहुत अच्छी बात है तब
मुझे आशा पे पूरा भरोसा है वो हर काम में साथ देती हैं तो आपकी भी उन्होंने बहुत देखभाल करी है मेरी आपके तो डर नहीं लगता जब वो हो मैं तो डर नहीं लगता
शुरू में परेशानी लगती है कि परेशानी है फिर उसके बाद जब बच्चा हो जाता है तो उसके बाद बहुत अच्छा लगता है बच्चे को देख कर और बच्चा भी ठीक है चच्चा भी ठीक है तो हमें बहुत अच्छा लगता है ये समाज के लिए तो है समाज सेवा के लिए तो है हम कि जो आशा से निराशा नहीं
Welcome back, everyone. This is a moment where we usually take a couple of minutes to process and reflect on the film. If there's anything that you felt about the film while you were watching the film, from the conversation we had earlier, please feel free to drop it, your comments, your reflections into the chat. And we'll also be sharing the YouTube link with you in the chat so you can watch it, you can go there. Phil, did you want to add anything as well?
No, just I mean, shout out to Geeta and everyone, all of the community sort of health workers that are out there and the work that they do every day. I know there's like, you know, hundreds and thousands of Geetas in each community, and you know, just what a difference it makes, you know, for the child, for the mother, my own family's gone through some stuff like that, and I just sort of know that it makes just such a difference. You're setting, a future life up for success for, decades of love and care and everything else, and it's just remarkable to sort of see them build that trust. I mean, it's a trust that starts at birth and carries on throughout the life. So shout out to ARMMAN and everyone for the work that they're doing.
Thanks for your reflections, Phil. As you can see, Veda shared a link of the film in the chat. Please feel free to keep it with you. You can go into the comments on YouTube, and we will remind you again later, but you can go into the comments on YouTube and leave your honest feedback and, things that you felt into the YouTube comment link, because one of the ways in which we can get the film to reach out to the world, get people more excited, is when they see already people have shown love for it. And with that, Kruti, over to you to take forward the conversation with our wonderful panelists.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Phil, for those reflections. And completely echo that. We've got so many of the ARMMAN team here as well. So shout out to everyone, like you said, first of all, who works on the ground every single day. And also to Priyanka and Amar for capturing, this story so beautifully. And let's start with them. They're the filmmakers behind For Every Breath. Priyanka and Amar, you spent, some time on the ground in Kurkavali village in Sambhal, which is an aspirational district. It's characterized by low health and literacy indices. You were in the homes and communities of, Geeta and Surbhi. So you actually saw their world close up, their lived reality. So what was it about their unique journeys, their specific challenges, that compelled you as filmmakers to capture their stories on film and share them with the world like you have done?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us and joining us today. I wasn't expecting it to be so overwhelming, but it is for us, it is quite overwhelming. To your question, Kriti, uh, what drew me most towards the story was the bond between Geeta and Surbhi, for sure. On the surface, this film is definitely about maternal health, but for us, it was about care, uh, responsibility within the community. Geeta totally, it felt like she was not just doing her job, she was solely responsible and felt, what she's doing. She felt responsible for how concerned she is for the women there, and that is something which was very deeply connected us to this story. And also, what can I say about Surbhi? I always feel for me, she's the heart of the film, and through her story and Geeta's story, I was able to connect to the community more. Like, I was able to understand the community more. So yeah, that is something, the bond and their concerns, their genuine concern for the community is something which drew me most to the story.
Yeah, working with both of them was very emotional and humbling as well at the same time. They shared their personal part of their life and with us, especially with us, which most of us we could not add in the film, but it was their honesty and the courage which made us even more interested in their story. And at the same time, we felt it was urgent to
Yeah, their stories felt really urgent when we spoke with Surbhi and other women like her. It felt really urgent. That's why we thought maybe Geeta and Surbhi is the perfect person to tell the stories.
No, absolutely. I think thank you for those reflections. And, very quickly, I think for every filmmaker, there is a moment that lingers long after the cameras are packed away. It could be a look, a silence, maybe a small gesture. Was there for both of you any specific scene or interaction with Geeta or Surbhi that really left a deep mark on you personally?
As I said, for me, Surbhi will always be the heart of the film. And as you have also seen in the film, there's a section when I asked her on camera, Surbhi, what is dreams to you? What dreams do you have for your kid? And very bluntly, to my surprise also, because whenever we ask this question, people have few things to say. But she said, I'm not allowed to have dreams. Poor people does not, they are not allowed to have dreams. And that broke my heart, really. And I remember, off the camera, we had a 30-minute conversation. I had a 30-minute conversation with Surbhi where I was trying my best to give her hope in life. I was telling her, it's not like this. You can always have hope. And I remember our last day with Surbhi when we were about to leave. I asked her, "What are you going to name your child?" She said, "Oh, I have so many names, and I want him to become a police." And she had many dreams for him. So it 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 gave me also hope as a filmmaker that maybe it's because of us or because of the story or because we had this conversation. So I think Surbhi and her story will stay with me for quite a while. Yeah.
And yeah, but for me, it was Geeta, Asha.
Yeah.
Because it's only because of her personality. I'll always remember her personality because her sarcastic humorous way of addressing things, her banter with Surbhi all the time. That made me remember her always. Like whenever I think of this movie, I'll always think of Geeta
Yeah.
Asha.
Geeta Asha fans.
Yeah, we should start a Geeta Asha fan
Fan
club.
club.
I think we should just start an Asha A&M fan club after this call. But
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, no, thank you so much, Priyanka and Amar. And, it's incredible to see how deeply you've connected with the stories, and that's visible in the film. And we'll come back to you later, if anyone has questions. But to understand the scale of what we are up against, we really need to look at the machinery of change on the ground. So Sambhal is a district where many women start their pregnancies already facing a steep climb. They're often battling severe anemia, pressure of very young marriages, and these factors turn what should be a normal journey into a high risk pregnancy very quickly. To help us navigate this, we have Deepika, who has been a district program manager in Sambhal for over 2 years. And Deepika is essentially the bridge between, our strategy and the lives of thousands of women on the ground. And she oversees the daily implementation of our interventions and ensures that no mother or child falls through the cracks of the system. So दीपिका, आज हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, एंड आपसे थोड़ी बातचीत करेंगे. दीपिका, आप कम्युनिटी और हेल्थ सिस्टम दोनों के साथ मिलकर काम करती है. तो हमने जैसे देखा सुरभि के केस में अनीमिया का हाई रिस्क कंडीशन था, तो संबल की गर्भवती महिलाओं में सबसे आम हाई रिस्क स्थितियां कौन सी है, और जब कोई महिला खतरे में होती है तो उसे सही इलाज दिलाने में सिस्टम के सामने सबसे बड़ी चुनौतियां क्या आती है?
थैंक यू कृति. जैसे कि आपने बताया कि संभल में जो भी चैलेंजेस है, तो संभल में सबसे ज्यादा तो चैलेंजेस आते हैं, केसेस होते हैं हाई रिस्क प्रेगनेंसी के, जैसे कि सीवियर एनीमिया हो गया, हाइपरटेंशन हो गया, एपीएच हो गया, पीपीएच हो गया. इस तरीके के जो केसेस होते हैं, जैसे क्या होता है सीवियर एनीमिक में कोई भी गर्भवती महिला है, अगर उसका 5.6 हीमोग्लोबिन है तो वो सीवियर कंडीशन में आ जाएगी. उस कंडीशन में अगर हमने उसको प्रॉपर सही से जब से वो प्रेग्नेंट हुई है, अगर हमने उस टाइम से लेके उसके डिलीवरी टाइम तक अगर हमने उस गर्भवती महिला को ट्रैक नहीं किया, तो लास्ट में जाके गर्भवती महिला और उसके होने वाले बच्चे के दोनों की जान को खतरा हो सकता है. सेम ऐसे ही अगर हाइपरटेंशन का पेशेंट गर्भवती महिला है और अगर उसको शुरुआत में, जैसे अगर हम उसको एएनसी पे या बीएचडी सेशंस पे जाके बता देते हैं कि जब भी बीपी बढ़ता है तो आपको धुंधलापन दिखाई दे सकता है, चक्कर आ सकता है, अगर इन खतरों के बारे में हम उनको अवेयर करा देते हैं एनएम के माध्यम से और काउंसलिंग करके, तो उन्हें पता रहता है कि हम जो है अगर हमको इस तरीके के सिम्टम होते हैं तो हमें तुरंत जाके सीएचसी पर दिखाना चाहिए, जिससे प्री एक्लेम्सिया या एक्लेम्सिया की कंडीशन नहीं आएगी और हम मदर और बेबी दोनों को सुरक्षित रख पाते हैं. और जैसे कि जो आपने कहा कि जो चैलेंजेस आते हैं, तो क्या होता है कि अवेयरनेस की कमी होती है गांव में, तो और लोगों में बहुत पुरानी पुरानी ये चीजें होती हैं कि अरे ये सब कुछ नहीं होता है, जब भी आप प्रेग्नेंट होते हो तो नहीं, गांव में ये सब चीजें होती है कि नहीं बताया जाता है, इन चीजों को छुपाया जाता है. तो अगर हमें टाइमली चीजें पता नहीं चलेंगी तो हम उनका टाइमली चेकअप नहीं कर पाएंगे, और फिर अगर नहीं पता चलने की वजह से वो हाई रिस्क की कंडीशन में चली जाएंगी, फिर लास्ट में जाके हम मदर और बेबी दोनों को नहीं बचा पाएंगे. तो इस केस में क्या करना है, हमें सबसे पहले एचआरपी आइडेंटिफिकेशन, उसका रेफरल और उसके मैनेजमेंट पे ध्यान देना है, जिसके लिए हमें हेल्थ सिस्टम भी सपोर्ट करता है. इसके द्वारा हम गर्भवती महिला और बच्चे दोनों की जान को बचा सकते हैं.
Thank you, Deepika. And I think what we've heard and seen gives us a real picture of the challenges, on the ground. And in the film, we saw two critical pillars of the rural health system: the ASHA, who is the heartbeat, of the village, and the auxiliary nurse midwife, who is the clinical backbone. So while unfortunately Geeta or Monica couldn't join us today, in fact, Monica is currently on maternity leave herself. We are so fortunate to have representatives from both the cadres here. So first, let's welcome Priyanka Chaudhary. She is an auxiliary nurse midwife. As an ANM, Priyanka is often the very first clinical expert a pregnant woman meets at the health sub center in a village. She is the one who performs the initial checkups, identifies the risk, and has to ensure appropriate management and referral. प्रियंका, आपका स्वागत है और हमें बहुत खुशी है कि आज आप हमारे साथ जुड़ सके। प्रियंका, लोग अक्सर एएनएम शब्द सुनते हैं, लेकिन उन्हें हमेशा इस जिम्मेदारी की गहराई का एहसास नहीं होता। क्या आप हमें विशेष रूप से अपनी भूमिका के बारे में कुछ बता सकती है, और आपका अब तक का सफर कैसा रहा है?
थैंक यू मैम। मैम, मेरा नाम प्रियंका चौधरी है। मैं संभल डिस्ट्रिक्ट से हूँ, बर्रई सब सेंटर पे। मैम, मेरा जो ये आता है कि एएनएम शब्द किससे बनकर मिलकर बना है, तो एएनएम को नाम ये सोचते हैं ये लोकल एरिया की है, इन पे कुछ नहीं आता होगा। बहुत सारी हमें इतनी सारी कठिनाइयां हमारे सामने आती हैं, हमें सबको फेस करना पड़ता है, सब लोगों को समझाना पड़ता है, तब जाके उनके दिमाग में ये चीज़ बैठती है कि हाँ, ये दीदी शायद सही बोल रही हैं, हमारे लिए, हमारे स्वास्थ्य के लिए सही बोल रही हैं। तो बहुत सारी कठिनाइयों के बाद हमें ये समझाना पड़ता है उन लोगों को। ऐसी सारी इतनी सारी क्रूतियां आती है हमारे सामने कि एक बंदा कम से कम वो कुछ नहीं जानता हो, वो अपनी जिद पे अड़ा हुआ है, हमें उसको स्टार्टिंग से लेके समझाना पड़ता है लास्ट तक, उसको जब तक वो डिलीवरी नहीं हो जाती। जब वो प्रेग्नेंट होती है बताते नहीं है घर वाले, 3 मंथ से पहले बताना नहीं होता है उन लोगों को। तो ऐसी सारी बहुत सी हमारे सामने कठिनाई आती हैं, उन सबको फेस करने के बाद हम एक गर्भवती महिला को बिल्कुल ठीक कर पाते हैं।
जैसा आपने कहा प्रियंका, कठिनाइयां तो बहुत सारी होती है। मुझे आपसे पूछना था, आपने अरमान का जो IHR-PTM प्रोग्राम है वो किया हुआ है, उस प्रोग्राम के जरिए से हाई रिस्क मामलों की पहचान करने की ट्रेनिंग मिली है आपको, और अब व्हाट्सएप पर भी चैटबॉट का भी उपयोग करती है। तो इन तकनीकों से क्या आपके आत्मविश्वास को कैसे बढ़ाया है? क्या फोन पर मिलने वाली इस तुरंत मदद से जो खतरे में फंसी हुई माँ होती है, उनकी पहचान करना और उसे बड़े अस्पताल रेफर करना, क्या अब वो आसान हो गया है आपके लिए?
मैम, ये बहुत 100% आसान हो गया है हमारे लिए। अगर कोई भी हमें क्वेश्चन जो हमारे समझ में नहीं आता था, आंसर हम उसको क्या दें, कंफ्यूजन होता था, हम सर को फोन करते थे, एमओ को फोन करते थे, उनसे सजेशन लेते थे। लेकिन अब चैटबॉट के थ्रू ये है कि हम क्वेश्चन डालते हैं, 1 सेकंड नहीं लगता हमें आंसर मिलने में, आंसर मिल जाता है, हम सॉर्ट आउट हो जाते हैं, कंफर्म हो जाते हैं। कंफर्म नहीं होते हम दोबारा भी क्वेश्चन करते हैं उनसे, फिर जाके आंसर मिलता है। जस्ट सेकंड में आंसर मिलने के बाद उनको रेफर स्लिप देके हम सारा उनको डिटेल में बताते हैं कि हम आपको रेफर स्लिप दे रहे हैं, आपको ये कमियां आ रही हैं, CSC पे जाओ, अगर वहाँ पे कोई दिक्कत होती है हम अपना नंबर देते हैं, हम उनको सारा कुछ समझाते हैं। अगर कोई भी परेशानी होती है हम सर से बात करेंगे, तब जाके वो आगे बढ़ते हैं कि हाँ ठीक है, चलो हमारी कम से कम हमारे साथ कोई तो है कि CSC तक जा रहा है कम से कम। ये होता है कि चैटबॉट से मैम बहुत ज्यादा 100% हमें सेटिस्फाइड हुए हैं हम लोग।
Thank you, Priyanka. I think what we're seeing here is that the first point of contact matters more than we often realize, and it is so important to support the women who are actually supporting the community on the ground. I'd like to bring in another incredible woman and health worker at this point. Pooja Sharma. While the ANM is the clinical anchor, the ASHA, or the Accredited Social Health Activist, she is the daily guardian of health at the community level. So Pooja represents, the 1 million frontline health workers across India who are quietly changing the face of public health, one door at a time, like you saw in the film. आपका स्वागत है पूजा, और आज हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए
थैंक यू
बहुत
मैम।
बहुत शुक्रिया। पूरे समुदाय की स्वास्थ्य की जिम्मेदारी उठाना कोई छोटी बात नहीं है। आपके लिए वो प्रेरणा का पल क्या था? आपने ये क्यों तय किया कि आप वह व्यक्ति बनना चाहती है जो आपके गांव की माताओं और बच्चों की सुरक्षा के लिए काम करेगी?
थैंक यू मैम। मैंने ये इसलिए सुना था क्योंकि मैंने देखा था काफी लोग स्वास्थ्य केंद्र की सेवाएं नहीं लेना चाह रहे थे। तो मुझे लगा कि मैं शायद किसी के लिए अफसर बन सकती हूँ या किसी को सेवा दे सकती हूँ। तो फिर उसके बाद मुझे ऐसा कोई मेरे पास गाइडलाइन नहीं थी कि जिससे मैं सेवा कर सकूं समाज की या उन्हें स्वास्थ्य केंद्र के बारे में बता सकूं। लेकिन उसके बाद मुझे लगा काश मेरे को कहीं से ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म मिल जाए जो मैं लोगों को अच्छा या बुरे के बारे में बता सकूं। फिर मुझे आशा वर्कर ज्वाइन होने का मौका मिला। जब मेरे को पता चला कि हाँ वैकेंसी मुझे मिल रही है, अब मैं इसमें ज्वाइन हो सकती हूँ। फिर उसके बाद मैंने लोगों को जब ज्वाइनिंग हो गई, फिर उसके बाद मैंने गर्भवती महिला को अच्छे से समझाया कि ऐसा नहीं है, कुछ चीजें आप जैसा देखते हो वैसा होता नहीं है, आपको डीपली जाकर समझना पड़ता है। लेकिन हमने काफी तरीके से उन्हें समझाने की कोशिश करी, जो मैम कुछ टाइम बाद समझने लगे थे वो लोग। और मुझे शुरू से ही शौक था कि मैं समाज सेवा करूं, उसके लिए मेरे को कुछ भी करना पड़ जाए वो मैं कर सकती हूँ।
नहीं जी, बिल्कुल। और अम, हर रोज परिवारों के घर जाना हमेशा आसान नहीं होता। क्या अभी भी उन्हें सही जानकारी अपनाने के लिए बहुत मनाना पड़ता है आपको?
हाँ मैम, शुरू शुरू में थोड़ा हुआ था। जैसे हम डोर टू डोर जाते हैं, जाने के बाद उनसे बोलते हैं, पहले तो नमस्ते करते हैं, हालचाल पूछते हैं और कैसे हो, क्या हो रहा है, क्या नहीं हो रहा, सारे हालचाल पूछने के बाद फिर उनसे पूछते हैं और आपके घर में कोई प्रेगनेंसी वगैरह किसी को है तो नहीं, कोई गर्भवती महिला हो या नवजात शिशु है या कोई टीके से 5 साल तक के बच्चा छूट रहा हो, उन सब के बारे में हम पूछते हैं। लेकिन वो हमें सीरियसली कोई जवाब नहीं देते हैं। हमसे बोलते हैं कि नहीं यहाँ भी कोई नहीं है। कहने को वहां होते हैं गर्भवती, लेकिन वो मना कर देते हैं कि नहीं अभी कोई नहीं है। फिर पूछते हैं आप कहाँ से आई हो, तो हमें बताना पड़ता है कि हम स्वास्थ्य केंद्र से आए हैं, आपके लिए बहुत ज्यादा सुविधा है हमारे पास, आप अब हमारी बात एक बार सुन के देखिए। लेकिन वो नहीं मानते हैं। शुरू शुरू में ऐसा हमारे साथ काफी बार हुआ है कि वो मतलब जाते हैं और मुंह पे डोर बंद कर लेते हैं, फिर हमें वहां से वापस आना पड़ता है। वहां से आने के बाद फिर हम दोबारा जाते हैं, शाम को जाते हैं या सुबह में जाते हैं। हम भी हार नहीं मानते हैं। आशा वर्कर का काम यही होता है कि हार नहीं माननी है। जो लाइन हम दे सकते हैं उनको, स्वास्थ्य दे सकते हैं, वो चीजें हमें तो देनी पड़ती है। फिर हाँ थोड़ा सा अच्छा होने लगा मेरे साथ, काफी अच्छा होने लगा। फिर उसके बाद अब काफी मतलब अच्छा जा रहा है अभी तो फिलहाल। अब को इतनी कठिनाई नहीं होती है जो पहले शुरू शुरू में थी मेरे साथ।
जी बिल्कुल। एंड दिस इज द quiet persistence that we've been talking about. Door to door, day after day, Pooja is building trust, she's spreading awareness, she's making sure she gives guidance to every woman and child. And it's not easy work, but as Pooja said, consistent visits, honest conversations, that can actually open doors over time. um, and what a powerful set of voices we've already heard from today. I'm cognizant of time, but I would want to step back a little to look at the bigger picture, to really help us understand the scale of the challenge, the progress we've made through the incredible work that's done by the entire team and the health workers on the ground, and also the road ahead a little bit. So I'd like to just invite Kumar Madhusudan, who is a program director at ARMMAN. Madhu, thank you for joining. And very quickly, let's start with the numbers first, right? Because sometimes the scale of a problem is best understood through data. When we look at maternal and child health in India today, what do the statistics tell us? But more importantly, what do the numbers not tell us?
So thank you, Priti, for having me on the call. So I think, to start with, the best part is that, the country experiences almost 25 to 27 million pregnancies every year. Obviously, the numbers are so huge, and then we understand the geographies also. So with these, still India has made considerable progress. If you look at the last NFHS data, it does indicates now that there is a 37-point decrease now in the MMR. Similarly, we have substantial improvement in IMR. The under 5 mortality has also considerably reduced. But then again, there are many other aspects which really needs a full address even now. Such as look at who is dying today in India. Technically, most of those pregnancies, those mothers, those women who technically are probably diagnosed at a later stage are at high risk, and largely they don't find the system responding much faster. So obviously we will have to focus at that level. Luckily, Pooja was highlighting a lot of the challenges she faces, like the doors get closed often when she approaches them. But the bigger aspect is that how do we really convince and make it more powerful that these people really come back to the system? So even the deaths which are happening today is still a bigger challenge for us, and we definitely need to really start looking at that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, Madhu, the challenges are many, but to talk a little bit about the public health system, right? Like India has one of the largest public health systems in the world. ASHAs, ANMs, primary health centers, sub-centers spread across every corner of the country. Tell us a little bit more about the system. How does it work, and why is it essential to leverage this along with technology, to make maternal and child health interventions more effective?
Thank you, Priti, for really putting this question forward. See, look at the country, how exactly we are. So there are several pockets around each state where you will find that still the power of our health system has still not reached there. Even despite we have more than 1 million ASHA workers, and then there is a whole full-fledged system backing it up, but still you will find many women still do not have access to the basic health system. Now, when we try to combine this with the power of the technology, probably this is really going to help us a lot, because ASHA may not reach to each and every household as we are expecting from them, but probably the digital systems can still go back to those levels. So I think that is much needed here, where we really start looking at that level. And once this combines with the ASHA workers, as she was saying in the initial stage, many people don't even want to listen to them because they feel she is one of us from the community. How does she know so much? But the same voice, when it starts echoing from the digital technology tools, probably her power really goes multiplying by many, many more times. I think the system basically is looking at how do we really influence the healthcare decisions at a household level. That is much more crucial at this juncture.
No, absolutely. I think it's the surround sound effect, right? Like the message is amplified when you hear it from multiple sources, multiple credible sources. And that's, very, very key, of course. Just one last question, Madhu, because of course that's the digital part of it. But when we're talking about the health systems, incredible health systems already laid out, how is ARMMAN strengthening that system? Like when we say we are working on system strengthening, if you can give us a quick glimpse of what does that really mean to work at different levels of the system, and why is that important as well?
So quickly to respond to this, Kriti, I think as maternal deaths remains really high, but where exactly it is happening? Largely in those communities which are either low income groups or do not have a regular access to the health system for many, many reasons. It could be inequity and all, and even geographical kind of separations. So now, how exactly does we really make sure that these people do also have access to those basic information? Probably ARMMAN, with support from Ministry of Health and the state government, we are now able to at least try and make an effort around reaching all those households, the communities which are still were unapproachable for the last many, many years. I think that is one bigger part, the health inequities. Now, the digital is not going to basically do that inequity separation. So obviously, this is making slowly progress towards that. The integrated systems, these are all going to really, really add to all of that. So probably ARMMAN system strengthening actually is around that. How do we really make the system more responsible? At the same time, how do we really make sure that the communities do have access to all the information they are looking for, or probably those which are life-saving? I think that's my view around that.
Thank you, Madhu, and thank you to all the panelists. We have had a, I think, 360-degree view of the issue that we're really talking about, and I just want to thank everyone for this conversation, and I wish we had more time to really hear from the experiences that Pooja has or that Deepika has, and Priyanka as well. But in keeping in mind the time, I just want to thank everyone for sharing your insights. And I'm going to hand it over to Veda and Koval to take us through the last bit.
Thank you, Kruti. I'm sure we can all agree we've learned a lot, even in these brief interactions with the panelists, about what exactly goes into the massive labyrinth that is maternal healthcare in a country like India. We're going to quickly start to wrap up, but just a reminder that we've shared the film's link. It would mean the world to us if you were to go on that link and drop your reflections and what your thoughts are after watching it. We've also been sharing, as well as the ARMMAN team, some links where you can find out more about the work that all the organizations you interacted with today do. ARMMAN, Video Consortium, the SSP program, the filmmakers, of course. So please feel free to browse through those links. Veda, Phil, if you wanted to jump in and say a couple of last closing comments.
Thanks everyone for joining. I always tear up when I watch this film, and it's very, very moving. The Priyanka and Amar really put in a lot of effort, and when as they talked about it, they really were very committed to capturing the journey and Surbhi's progression and delivery, and going back and filming with her after the baby was born. And I think that seeing that whole arc of how her pregnancy kind of comes about, and her relationship with the ASHA and the ANM is really lovely to see. So congratulations to the team, and congratulations to ARMMAN. So thank you so much, and over to you, Phil.
No, just thank you, everyone. Thank you, Video Consortium, our partners, everyone that tuned in, and thanks for helping us spread the word. So I'll leave it there. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Phil.
Joining everyone, and we'll keep the chat open for a couple of more minutes, so you can browse through the links. You have access to those. And once again, thank you everyone for joining, to all the panelists, the filmmakers, the ARMMAN representatives, our wonderful ASHA workers, Dr. Deepika, Priyanka, Phil, of course, and Veda and I are here for the next minute to keep open the Zoom link if you'd like to copy paste any of the links we have today. And I will add yet again the link of the film, which will be published live for the it will be going on our respective social media channels shortly. So please feel free to keep sharing it, keep showing love for these amazing filmmakers, the protagonists, and the organization that has inspired this story. Right. Thank you for joining, everyone.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am. Dhanyawad. Thank you.